Welcome to Paranormal 956. My name is David, and as always, I am here with Bianca.
Hi, guys.
Let me ask you this, Bianca. I know you're real into music.
Right.
Spanish music sometimes, right?
What is that supposed to mean?
Spanish language music.
Okay.
What do you think about when I say Selena?
Okay, well, you got several Selenas out here. So
Oh, tell me.
you gotta be specific. I mean, first one that comes up to mind is Selena Quintanilla.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Selena Gomez. You got... What other Selena you got? I think those are the main ones. I don't got anything else in mind right now.
Okay. So
Wait, what happened?
So we're coming up on the 30th.
Wait, you got Selena Gomez in the house? No.
Surprise, everybody. No, just kidding.
Then?
No, so it's been almost 30 years since Selena Quintanilla was murdered.
Okay, yeah.
And so...
Wait. Oh, shit, that's true.
So, fun fact. She was from Corpus.
Right.
And I lived in Kingsville.
Very near.
So, we know some of the same people, Selena and I. And I kind of have a lot of first-hand information about what was going on at the time. That I don't
that's true.
think
You were alive when that happened, right?
I was alive when that
That's
happened.
true. That's true.
Fun fact, her and I share a birthday.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're lying.
No, it's 100% true.
No, yeah, it's...
We share a birthday.
So, she's an Aries.
She's an Aries, yes. Which
That's
explains
crazy.
a lot, I think, right?
It's crazy, yeah.
And so, for those of you who don't know, and I think there's probably quite a few people who might not know, because this was a long time ago.
Yeah,
And
this is way before I was even born.
And then, also, not everybody listens to Spanish music, right?
Not...
I mean, here it's
but
more
it's
common.
Yeah, come on.
Here it's more common, but not
Selena.
everybody, right? Anyway, so Selena was a Tejano superstar,
Yeah.
right? And so back in the 90s, when she was big...
She still is. Come on.
Tejano was pretty big.
Yeah.
Tejano
That's
was...
where it's like, yeah.
Like, it was on the radio with, like, everything else.
Yep.
When today, I don't know if... Like, do you hear Intocable? Like...
I mean...
It's not the same. Music in general is not the same.
No, yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Because back then, in the 90s, do you know what ska is? Ska, it's like rock and roll, but with like horns.
Okay.
That was big in the 90s. And big bands and swing music and country, like everything was big all at the same time. And it was all good pretty much.
Like it was more of a, like a, they had more platforms to stream it through.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
Yeah.
MTV was like in full swing.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
and
they had more exposure.
yeah.
That's where it like started. Yeah.
Yeah, music exploded in the 90s. And Selena Quintanilla was in the front of the Tejano side of that.
Yeah.
Right? And so
She was pretty.
she was very
She got
pretty.
the looks. She got the outfits.
I guess the best way to kind of... She would be like as influential...
Hey, where the fuck is my lamp?
Oh, Angie's still on.
Oh.
Anyway. You can have mine. I don't know.
No, that's fine.
But
It's just... Okay.
she's reading a book.
Right.
And so anyway, Selena was like as big as I think Taylor Swift is now.
Literally.
Like,
I see that.
yeah, so Bianca has a new toy.
Yep.
And so she was really big. She was really good. She had kind of a Michael Jackson-like machine behind her, right? She had a father who was pushing her.
Her
and
sister,
she had
her
siblings that
siblings,
were
yeah.
writing the music and her outfits and like
her band, yeah.
she
Even
had
the mom.
Yeah. Her family was involved, much like Michael Jackson's family was involved with him.
Yeah.
And she was a star, much like Michael Jackson was a star when he had it. So fast forward, she reaches such heights that she comes out with an English album which kind of was unheard of. And nobody, that was not on anybody's radar.
Mm-hmm.
And it hits. Like, it's good. And people like it. And she's now goes from being, she started as a Coastal Bend star. She was big in the Valley and big in Corpus and some in San Antonio. She went from that to like all Latin America, right? All Spanish speaking Americans. And now with the English album, now she's worldwide. Famous.
Right.
Well, behind the scenes, she had like a fan club.
Yeah.
You could write in and you send a little bit of money. I think it was $10 way back then. And you got a shirt and you got an autograph and you got a little card that said you're in her fan club. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And there's this lady who's running that fan club. Now, one of the things that I really think was a key to Selena's success is that she was pretty humble. Like, she didn't really think that she was such a big star. She made music and she wrote music and she did
I guess
shows.
it was more the fact that she was trying to still live her normal lifestyle throughout her career.
Right. And
like,
so,
she didn't want to care in the world. Like, I have to be protected in every single aspect of me going out into the public.
Right. And so in Corpus, where she's from, she would be at the mall. She'd go out to restaurants. She just lived her regular life. The bad side of that is I don't think she thought too many people are writing into the fan club.
Right.
She didn't think anybody's doing it. Right. So this lady, her name's Yolanda Saldívar.
Fucking bitch.
She's in charge of the fan club.
Right.
And she's pretty much pocketing the money.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, Selena's not counting on that money. She doesn't think anybody's doing it. It's just kind of a little thing people do when they're famous, right? And this lady's taking care of it, blah, blah, blah. Well, fans start complaining. They sent in their money and they're not getting anything.
Right.
And they complain and the dad hears about it. And then he starts to look into things. And he starts to figure out, holy shit, Yolanda's stealing money. And it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? So the story is that Selena went to confront Yolanda at a hotel.
Right.
I don't really know why she was at a hotel, but
she had money.
I will say this. Because one of my high school friends works and records at Selena's studio to this day.
Okay.
And knows the whole family, knows everything. And so I've gone to that studio, and it's not far from where the hotel is.
Okay.
So I think there's a good chance
that she was recording.
They were like, you know what? We need to talk, but let's not do it at the studio. Let's go to this hotel, and I need to talk to you. Just get a room, and we're going to talk. Well, at this time, I'm living in Kingsville, and I work at McDonald's. And I go into work. I think I go in at like 3 in the afternoon. I don't really remember. I drank a lot back then. But I show up to work, and there is this super weird situation going.
What do you mean?
So I walk in.
You see Yolanda with the gun.
And so I was the one who always closed, right? And so when we closed, we were all kids, right?
Right.
We played the music.
Wait, you were a kid in 1995?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was a super young. I was 20.
You see? Nuh-uh. Anyways.
I was working at McDonald's still. 20-year-old working at McDonald's. And so what we would do is when we closed, we'd blare the music super loud to clean.
Right.
Right. And it's just kind of a dumb thing that we did. Blah, blah, blah. So we had a big radio that we did at night, blaring the music. And I walk in, and that radio was blaring
in the middle
the news.
Oh.
And the customers, the whole restaurant, are up against the counter listening to the news, and nobody that I work with was working.
Everything stopped.
We were all listening to the radio because Yolanda Saldívar was in a truck, in the parking lot of the hotel with a gun to her head, and they think something happened to Selena. That's at that point when I walked in, and I'm like, what happened to Selena? Like, this is weird, right?
Yeah.
And so this is the stuff nobody's going to get anywhere else.
What the?
Right. So I was
Keep in mind, it's your birthday.
Right. So this is the thing.
No. It was before your birthday.
It was before my birthday.
Yeah,
so I was only 19, so that does make a big difference.
2 weeks?
Yeah, I wasn't even an adult yet. All right. So anyway.
Okay.
So.
Oh, yeah, it was before your birthday.
So one of the things is nobody knew what was happening. Mm-hmm. And this is before the internet was like it is today, right?
Yeah, like it's not Brownsville Hood News.
Right. Like, so today there are a lot of times where we know about things happening as they're happening and we watch them.
Right.
Like, people watch 9/11 on the news.
Right.
Right. Live. Et cetera, et cetera. This was not the same.
Nuh-uh.
This is not how it was. The world was different back then. So, on the radio, they have to fill time to talk because everybody is listening to what's going on.
They're just waiting on the first update to change it up. Yeah.
So there's all these speculations start coming out.
Yeah.
First one. Emilio Navarro. Do you know who Emilio Navarro was? So he was another big Tejano star at the same time.
No
but
idea.
It was kind of like she was the girl, he was the guy.
Oh, okay.
So it was like, I don't know if you even know who Garth Brooks is, but let me think. I don't know. Okay. Taylor Swift and what's the name of that kid? Boy? Anyway. It was like that. She was a big famous girl.
Like Barbie and Ken?
Okay. Let's do Barbie and Ken, right? So the rumor starts. Oh, this is on the radio, on the news on the radio.
Yes, I understand.
Emilio Navarro's wife caught them in bed and murdered them both. Right?
Where the fuck does Yolanda come in that speculation?
Yeah, nobody knows. Well, see, we didn't know who it was in the car. We just knew there was a lady in the car with a gun to her head.
And the Selena was dead.
And we didn't even know Selena was dead. She wasn't dead at this time.
Oh, that's true. She made it to the hospital.
She went to the hospital and they did a bunch of stuff. And so we can get into that in a little bit too.
Okay.
But the stories were just wild about what was happening. And none of them were actually accurate at the time. So Selena ends up getting shot. So the story from Yolanda is the only one that was there that knows, right?
Yeah.
She says that Selena confronted her and got pretty angry and that she wanted to scare Selena and pulled out a gun.
Right.
And unfortunately, she's the biggest liar probably in the history of the world. So we've heard like 7 different versions of this.
Yeah.
We do know for a fact Selena was shot in the back. So she was like walking away. Mm-hmm. And Selena was shot in the back and then she walked bleeding to the lobby where she passed out and they called the ambulance and they took her to the hospital. And so I actually worked in that hospital years later. And so it's Spawn South, which is a big deal over there, right? And it's not far either, right? It's not far from this hotel. And so they tried so hard to save her life that they did things that they probably shouldn't have even tried. Like they opened her chest to like massage her heart to get her to, they went crazy trying to save her life. Now, I think it was Selena's mom was a Jehovah's Witness.
Not the dad?
I doubt it's the dad. I've met the dad and I doubt he's a witness.
Anyways.
But, so there was another rumor that that she died because one of the things Jehovah's Witnesses...
They don't
do blood transfusions.
Yeah.
And so people speculated that
it was because of that,
that's why she died, is that she had lost blood. And so the truth is that the doctors tried so much, they didn't even ask if she was a witness. They gave her blood immediately. Right?
Oh, shit!
Yeah, they gave her blood immediately. And it didn't... Her artery was punctured. So even by giving her blood, it's just pouring out.
Yeah.
So they didn't not give her blood. So she ends up dying. Spoiler alert. Right. And this lady, Yolanda, stays in the car for a long time. I get off of work and she's still
in the car?
She's still in the car. Like I go home
You went to the car. You're like, hey, come on, you gotta get out.
So I didn't live that close. Kingsville's like
Yeah.
40 miles away. But people in Corpus went. Like,
Yeah, obviously.
And man,
Yeah, I think there's videos like people like all around
yeah,
the news and shit. Like
this lady
everybody
not,
was there.
This lady was not safe in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Because I can't even.
But she could have shot herself.
She could have, and she didn't, but she could have. So she ends up going to jail. And what I think, at least in my world, from what I heard, the first thing that I heard that was kind of like, what? Is she started to say that she knew stuff about Selena, that Selena killed her because she knew some things. That
Right.
on a certain day in many years, she's going to release. It never happened. Mm-hmm. And then she has stuff in a safety deposit box in Mexico somewhere. It never happened.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just changed over and over. She said her dad wanted her to kill her. I mean, she's just
Blaming everyone else but her. Yeah.
everybody except you shot her in the back.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard to justify shooting.
I mean, you're not an investigator, but
I'm not a cop, right? And I'm not going to cop school or anything.
I get it. Okay.
But I know.
Okay.
I have played enough video games to know
Right.
that you shoot somebody in the back, it's not great. And so she's up for parole. Yolanda is up for parole. And now what was it? She said something recently. Again, she's shifting the blame. So I think there's a good chance she doesn't get out. Because part of the parole hearing is they want you to show that, you know, you've accepted and you've changed and you're better and et cetera, et cetera. I don't know if she's shown any of that. Now, one of the things that, to kind of even push it further, in Corpus at the time, they had an auditorium on the ocean. Because Corpus is kind of like the island where the main street or one of the main streets is right on the ocean. And they have an auditorium there. Now it's called Selena Auditorium. But back then it was called Bayfront Auditorium. And they had Selena's funeral in that auditorium. And, I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of people showed up. And they started to, for some reason, say that it wasn't really her casket that was there. That they just had a fake casket for some reason. And for some reason, this really pissed Dad off. And he went and he opened the fucking casket to show everybody that she's here inside.
What the fuck?
And so that was another kind of a messed up story at the time. Another kind of weird situation. So my grandfather, my mom's biological father. So my mom's parents were divorced when she was young. So I grew up with 6 grandparents. But my mom's dad had lived in Corpus for forever. And he was a huge fan of Selena's from the very, very beginning. So he's in like 3 of her videos because they show her concerts. And he's like in the crowds in like 3 of them.
What the hell?
Yeah, my grandfather. Well, who is really old, so that's kind of a little weird, but... Well, what do you think of when... Because like with Angie...
Well, I wasn't alive. That's to start off.
But you know her music.
Yeah, of course. But like history-wise, I mean... Yeah, like... I grew up with her songs. And then you got like the Cumbia Kings, which is like her brothers and stuff.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like just not one group. Like you got
she
several...
started a movement.
Yeah.
Going. Well, the brother is the one who wrote all the music.
Yeah.
Because Selena didn't even speak Spanish. And so he wrote all the music, and he used to have clubs and things in Corpus.
Yeah.
And so he's been around for a while. And so when Angie says, my wife talks about Selena, in her mind, she's thinking of J-Lo. Because of the movie.
Oh.
She didn't even know about Selena until the movie.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
That's weird. But I mean, yeah, you got the music, you got the... I mean, several kids back in the day, they were having the Selena Quintanilla parties. Like, they had the girls dressed up like that, like her and shit like that. Like, it's still a thing.
Yeah, and she set the bar so high that I don't know if anybody's ever really been able to bring Tejano back like that, right? Like, Tejano's been around,
dying off,
but it's like a local thing.
Yeah.
Like, people here listen to it, but do people in Mexico listen to it anymore?
Yeah, kind of, but not.
Not like her.
Yeah.
I mean, people in Spain were listening to her back then. You know what I mean?
How
Like,
do you know that?
well, because I was in Corpus and she was on TV in Spain.
Oh.
We heard about all this stuff. Like, she was super famous. She would go to all the countries where they spoke Spanish. And so she was pretty famous. I have a picture of Angie with Selena's dad.
What?
Yeah. And so it's kind of weird. So one of the trips that you and I have only done one road trip. I've wanted to take you on. I know because you're a fan of Selena.
Right.
And I know people at the studio and there's a museum there.
Mm-hmm.
When you go in, all those famous dresses that you know her in are all there on mannequins.
Bullshit.
Yeah, they're all there.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. And all her gold albums and platinum albums. And like, it's her microphones she had a very trademark lipstick on her because she sang so close. The microphones are there. Like, it's really cool. I think you would like it. And there's a statue now of her on the ocean.
I've seen that one. I've seen that one in pictures.
And her grave is there, obviously, and her studio. And,
but her body's there, right?
Yeah.
You want to call the dad and
dig her up and prove it. Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
That's such a weird... There's so many things in this world, right? There's so many things in this world that if I thought, I don't say them out loud.
No.
Right? And that's one of the things, like, if I was
Imagine if you died.
Yeah.
And, like, we start blaming, like, we start questioning your mom, like, is he even in there?
Yeah.
She's like,
that's
you know what?
So weird.
But that's a very rosy thing to do.
Yeah, my mom would open. She would dump me out on the floor and show everybody dead. That's what she would do.
Right.
Dump me out. You want to see him? There he is.
Have at it.
Yeah. Do what you're going to do. Yeah. Take your selfies, people.
But yeah. That's a crazy. I didn't know that one.
But see,
and that's the thing. And also, like, the blood transfusion thingy.
Yeah.
That's like the story we started hearing again. That it was that they were
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah. I was gonna say Jews.
A little bit different.
Same. And they don't take blood transfusions, and that was one of the main things that she just bled out.
Yeah. So she did bleed out. She did
bleed out, but that she needed blood.
Yeah. And I heard that all the way back then too. And the reason that I know what I know is that really upset the dad too. And
that they were saying that.
Well, because, man, I'm going to be honest with you. The dad, I've met the dad. I've met him quite a few times. Not my favorite person.
Right.
Right?
Not your cup of tea.
Not my cup of tea. I think that's the best way to say it. But I can't imagine what he's gone through because...
I mean, I get it. I get that the dad is like a father. Yeah, he's a dad, right?
Yeah.
But he's also a manager.
Yeah.
So he didn't want that reputation of people still talking when he's still managing the other kids.
I guess so. The thing that
you're not going to talk shit that my daughter's not in there.
Yeah.
There you go. You're not going to talk shit that they didn't give her blood. There it is.
Yeah, the thing that I see with the blood transfusion especially is they did so much more. Like, they cut her chest open and opened her up to try to save her. Like, they did so much more. And it was, as a parent, I can imagine that being painful in itself.
Yeah.
Like, she's already fucking dying and you're doing, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
her last moments in this planet is, you mutilating her body for no gain, really, right? And so I imagine that there's no silver lining with any of this, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, she made the money for all of the family and their families and gave them all jobs and, and then obviously I have never, with all the people that I know.
not even just jobs. I mean, just by the names.
Right. But what I was going to say is I've known a lot of people who knew her. Never has anybody said not one thing slightly bad about her ever. That she was like some kind of angel. Right. And then like she had bad people around her or people that were like, her dad's like kind of a jerk a little bit. Right. And so that is what it is. And I think that happens a lot. Right. Because I'm surrounded by jerks. Right.
Yeah.
And so.
But the fact that she had to learn Spanish to get her music, that was the craziest part.
I didn't figure out that she didn't know Spanish until pretty late. Because I just assumed. She sings in Spanish. Right? And it doesn't, she's not like.
She just basically learned the lyrics in Spanish, but she didn't even know what the fuck.
I mean, you've heard me speak Spanish, right? She doesn't sing like that.
No. Yeah, no.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I speak Spanish, people are like, that's not his first language.
Yeah.
She didn't sing like that. She sang like she spoke Spanish. So we'll see. I don't know if we're going to do an update because I don't think she's getting out. Yolanda better hope she stays in because people are still upset about this.
I mean, not even upset. I mean, even just the fact that she thinks it's safe for her to go out.
Yeah.
She's going to get shot in the back.
Yeah. It's not going to be safe for her. She's not going to be safe out. And I mean, I'm not threatening her. I'm not going to do anything.
It's kind of obvious.
The world hates her. Like this is the thing. We've had really bad shit happen in this world. She's still on the top list of most hated people on the planet. 30 years later. People still literally hate her. Like, it's crazy. And so for her own good, I hope she stays in. Because she's not going to be safe out here.
No, she's...
I mean, and bitches that grew up with her
she's lucky she's been safe in there.
Also true. That's very true, too.
That's like...
Yeah, the people that are in there with her listen to Selena.
On purpose.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh, wrong button.
Jeez. It will...
So even I listened to Selena back in the day. Like, it was good music. It was good. And, I never went to her concerts. I wasn't in her fan club. But it was shocking when she
They didn't
died.
steal your $10?
She didn't steal my $10. But, I mean... And I've met her family, and I know her friends. I know people. And it definitely was a loss. I think the only... I mean, it's kind of a dark thing to say, right? But since she did die young, she wasn't given the chance to fuck up her legacy. Like, she did good, and then it was only good.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I guess if you got to look pretty hard to find a silver lining in all this, but it immortalized her forever. Mm-hmm. And people still listen to her and still love her. I hear her.
Even her songs, like the bidi bidi bum bum, that's iconic. Like, you don't even have to be doing it. It's just a random thought that people will say, like,
and the thing is,
como la flor, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. You already know who it is. You already know, like, you don't even have to finish a full sentence of her lyrics.
Yeah.
Like, that's how good it was. It is.
And the thing that's shocking to me because of the instruments that she used, you would think that it would sound like 80s music.
Yeah.
It still sounds good.
Yeah.
And it's like those instruments are old instruments. They're digital, and it still sounds good. How's that? I don't know, because I can't stand 80s music because it sounds like that. But she still sounds good.
That's crazy.
Talk to y'all later.
Bye, guys.